Okay, with the same vein, and I'm going to go ahead and plug it again. And honestly, I have to say they have over 600 guys rated. When they say 600, they mean they show you the entire scoring by team, and they even get down to like, they say Yannick Weber's going to get 6 points, Potato 6 points, and Matt Irwin 6 points. So they get right into the minutia of it, which is nice because I'm a minutia kind of guy. But let's just cover the top 30, and I'm going to go ahead and give my take on this as well. McDavid at 114 points last year. He had 108. He's 21 years of age. Here is his average points per game for last year. So all the way down that second column is last year's points per game average, which matters because if a guy missed a ton of games, his points totals are going to be lower. Now this is the career average. Okay? So the career average for McDavid's 1.22. Last year was 1.32. And everybody's predicting him to go up. I agree. 100%. Kucherov, they're predicting 96 points. He had 100 last year, which is well ahead of his career average. I think a bit of a clawback, that works. At 25 years of age, sure. Crosby's where I find myself diverging from them a little bit. They have Crosby getting 92 points. He had 89 last year. He hasn't crossed 90 points in, I think it's 4 years. And he had a 1.09 goals per points per game average last year to a 1.29 over his career at age 31. I think he's going to finish a little lower than that. I'd put him in the 80, 82, 84 range. Playoff time, yes, absolutely amazing, but regular season, I think about a point per game. Marchand, they have at 90 points. Now, he had 85 last year, which is well above his career average. His career average, he scores 0.76 points per game. He had 1.25 last year. If not for injury and suspension, he would have been in the conversation for the Hart, and people would have been very angry. Now, if he puts up 90 points this year, again, he'll end up being in the conversation for the Hart. He won't get it. But at age 30, I'm wondering if there's going to be a clawback. I wouldn't be surprised to see him get 80 points instead of 90, but he'll still be in that elite range, and it's still going to drive people nuts. McKinnon had 97 points last year. They've got him pegged to score 88 this year. So you'll notice the black numbers here. Those are the numbers. That's where they think people are going to finish this coming season. So McKinnon with 88 is where they project him, down from 97. I don't have a problem with that, and here's why. His career average is .81. He had a points per game percentage of 1.31, almost equal to McDavid at age 23. I think he gets clawed back a little bit. McDavid goes up a little bit. Makes perfect sense to me. 88 points is fine. Patrick Kane at age 29, they think he's going to go back up to 88 points after 76 last season. He dropped to .93 points per game after being a 1.01 guys for his whole career. So he's scored more points than he's played games. An elite guy. I could see him getting back to that. That's fine. Again, if you draft him early, I don't think he's going to hurt you. Tavares is the interesting one. So they project him to get 86 points. He had 84 last year, which is 1.02 points per game. His average for his entire career is 0.93. He's 28 years of age. I think Tavares could get more than 86. I do. I think he can get more than 86, and I'll tell you why. Because Matthews is going to get a lot of attention. Kadri's going to get a lot of attention. I think the Leafs are going to run up some scores this year. Ovechkin, 85 points, which is down from 87 that he scored this year. 1.06 points per game average. His career, 1.12. And he's 33 years of age. So when you look at Ovechkin, his points have always been excellent, but his goals are better. They're projecting he's going to get 50 goals and 35 assists. I don't have a problem with that. Again, I wouldn't be surprised, though, if his points total actually ends up being lower. I could see him ending up with 80 points. Pasternak, they've got him for 85 points. He's 22 years of age. He had 80 this past season. He's trending up in points per game. And yeah, David Pasternak's kind of a special kid and only 22 years of age. I would have thought he was older than that. Steven Stamkos, age 28, same age as Tavares. 82 points is what they're projecting for him. He had 86 last year. So, very interesting. It's Stamkos. Yeah, I could see it. I could see 82 points for him. Rantanen, they're projecting 81. He had 84 last year. They're projecting Malkin's going to get 80. He had 98 last year, but they're also projecting Malkin's going to miss 12 games. So that's the thing with Malkin. At age 32, yeah, I don't have a problem with picking him to miss 12 games. Jamie Benn, they're projecting 80 points. He had 79 last year. Yep. They're projecting 80 for Barkov. He had 78 last year. They're projecting 80 for Panarin, who had 82. Keller, they're projecting 80. He had 65 this past season, so they see a 15-point jump in his sophomore year. Should happen. I think Arizona's going to have a decent attack this year. The blue line is really going to decide things for them. Gaudreau, 80 points. He had 84 this past season. Kuznetsov, 80, down from 83. They say Austin Matthews will get 79 points. That's over 80 games. He had 63 points last year, 1.02 points per game. He's only 21 years of age, and I could see that. The interesting thing to me is this. He had the same points per game as Tavares. They're projecting them 7 points apart. Matthews is only 21. I wouldn't be surprised if those numbers trade. If Matthews gets the 86 and Tavares gets the 79 with a little bit less ice time. But that's why they play the games. Mitch Marner, 79 points. They're projecting he's going to gain 20 points on last year. Yeah, I like Marner. I don't know if I like him to a 79-point total, but sure. Why not? Wheeler, they say 79 points. This is going to make Jet fans kind of say, wait, what? Down 12 points. Now, the reason that they're saying this is because he's 32. So he put up a fantastic season at age 32. Usually that'll get scaled back the following season. I don't know that I have him at 79, but I don't know that I'd have him at... I think I'd probably split the difference, probably have him at 85, but I can see him falling to that total. Now, Flyer fans, they're projecting Giroud's going to drop 24 points this year down to 78. And the reason for that is he's 30 years of age. He just had a 100-point season. That's way out of line with his normal career totals. He got 1.24 points per game this past season. His career, he's 0.92. So they're projecting he's going to drop down to basically a career average after a fantastic year. When you're in a pool, the thing that can make or break it is trying to figure out which guy's due for a career year and which guy just had one. So which guy's going to come off the board too early and which guy should come off the board that hasn't yet. Tyler Seguin, 78 points he had last year. They're projecting 77. Very safe. Scheifele had 60 points this past season in 60 games. They're projecting 77. I think that's low. I think Mark Scheifele is capable of a lot more, and I think he showed it in the playoffs in 2018. And I fully expect him to show it again. Phil Kessel, they're projecting 77 points. 92 points last year was crazy, wasn't it? I mean, Phil Kessel, at one point this year, we were actually talking about maybe he was going to be in the run for Art Ross. Could he be in the run for the Hart? Like, how crazy could this get? Kessel's not going to repeat that year, but he's still an excellent player, and he'll be close to a point a game. Barzal, they're projecting, is going to get 76 points, which would be a drop of 9 from his rookie year. I don't know that he's going to drop, because I think he's going to get a ton of ice time. So even if he doesn't play as well as he did last year, with him picking up all the extra ice time with Tavares going to Toronto, I honestly think he should be able to get about a point a game again. Jack Eichel, who is a divisive figure in the hockey world. Some feel that he's going to be this big franchise player. There are some who feel he's brittle and won't reach that potential, and there's some who just don't think he's that guy. He had 64 points last year. They're projecting 75. He's 21 years of age, same as Matthews, of course. 0.85 points per game over his career. He had a 0.96 over the last season. So it matters to your pool which number you believe. Is the 0.85 closer to reality, 0.96? Or does he blast past 1 point per game this year with a health record that's decent and with some pretty solid line mates as well? Braden Point in Tampa, they're projecting he's going to improve as well, up to 75 points from 66 this past year. Where Point makes me a little bit nervous for that kind of an improvement is Stammer and Point could combine for that point total, but I wouldn't be surprised if Point stays around 70 points. I don't know, that 75 might be a little bit high. Trocheck, they think, is going to stay the same, 75 points. I think Trocheck's underrated. You look at Trocheck, you look at Barkov, I'm telling you, this Florida attack is very underrated. And 30th was Leon Draisaitl, who had 70 points last year. They're projecting 75 for him. The interesting thing with the Oilers is going to be this. Does Ryan Nugent-Hopkins play on the wing with McDavid again? If he does, he could be a guy who's not on this board who ends up being on this board next year. And we'll talk about what a great year he had. You look at guys who just missed being in the top 30 on the Hockey News list. Erik Karlsson, Ryan Getzlaf, Patrick Laine, Anze Kopitar, Nick Backstrom, Mark Stone, Taylor Hall, Brent Burns, Kyle Connor, and Jakub Voracek. Voracek 40th from the Flyers. Could easily end up in the top 30. Any of these guys could. They're projecting Laine to get 51 goals and assist totals in like 23 assists or something like that. I think it's 51 and 23. So he's got 74 points. I believe these three are all close. Could be 51 and 20 actually. But it's a tightly wound bunch. The biggest trick, and tightly wound, I just meant they're tightly bunched together for points. The biggest trick when it comes to hockey pools, and people always ask me, like, what do you think? You can get guys who are good value later on that may not be the big names, but they may put up a lot of points. You can, and depending on some will have, you have your keeper leagues, you have your leagues that insist on you staying under the salary cap, you have leagues that reward goals more than points. But when you're looking at all this fantasy stuff, the biggest thing to me is this: Mackinnon 88 points, Draisaitl 75. There's a 13-point difference between number 5 on the board and number 30. So odds are your top 10 scorers this year will feature 9 guys on this board and probably one that's not on here. And the key is, if you're in one, find the guy that's not in here, and you're set, because you'll get them later, and you'll get these guys first, and then you'll pick that guy that ends up in the top 10. But it's tricky. I don't personally participate in them, but it is fun to speculate on who's going to get the most points. So let me know who you guys think is underrated on here, who you think is overrated on here, and all of that fun stuff as we get set for training camp in a couple of weeks here. We'll be into NHL training camps, and then we'll start ramping up towards the season, because then we start seeing waivers, we start seeing deals as GMs go, this guy doesn't fit our roster, do you want him? That kind of thing starts happening, and things really pick up. So if you found over the last couple of weeks there's a malaise about hockey, kind of, sort of, yeah. But if at the same time you're wanting to get excited about this upcoming season, magazine season started, and I understand that the younger generation doesn't bother with magazines, but I'll be dipped if they're not fun to have. And not only that, but having over 20 years of magazines and being able to look back and look where guys were overrated. Very often guys get overrated based on one really good season, and guys get underrated based on one really bad season. And there's also the case to be made, too, where a guy gets overrated after a trade or a free agent signing, where it's, this guy's going to be awesome offensively because he got out of that team and he's with this team now, so he's going to just break out, and then it doesn't happen. So there you go. Let me know what you guys think. I will get more into this again. It's fun if you guys have it to kind of play along, and let me know where you guys think it's going to finish, because they actually have a listing at the back of the book of the top 250 as they project it. I don't have, I know you guys are like, you could do that, just madness the board. There's enough madness now. I don't need to put 250 names on the board. That would be a little too much even for me. But there you go. Let me know your thoughts. Hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through, you just happened upon this video. And thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.